She was an assassin, that she'd be the bride, that it was a revenge movie. And the only other thing I had, other than Uma, all right, was the movie would start off with Bang Bang.
He shot me down, bang bang, I hit the ground, bang bang, that awful sound, bang bang, my baby shot me down.
The genre of film is a staple of modern cinema, as it utilizes common themes found in a certain genre to set up a recognizable backbone for a film, allowing audiences to immediately recognize the characters and foresee where the plot is heading. However, this tradition is challenged by the director Quentin Tarantino, who utilizes his encyclopedic knowledge of genre films to weave together films that incorporate multiple genres into seamless wholes to make multi-genre films. As he said himself in an interview with the BBC reporter,
My influences are from cinema all over the world, like the way it is in music or movies, especially if you're a big fan of both, is, you have a big foundation of stuff you watch when you were younger and all through, your life and stuff, but you also go through waves of reconnecting with it. Yeah, exactly. Well, you start kind of reconnecting with it again, all right? And all of a sudden you're watching it all over again. So as I went down to sit down and write Kill Bill, I was going through this intense Japanese cinema wave and Kung Fu Chinese Hong Kong wave. And I don't think my spaghetti Western wave ever stopped, all right? So when I came down to sit down and write it, that was what I was passionate about at that time.
Tarantino's Kill Bill Volume 1 is a perfect example of the multi-genre film, as it utilizes aspects of spaghetti westerns, wuxia films, Japanese revenge dramas, and anime. His directing prowess is shown by the film straddling all these genres, yet maintaining the integrity of each element. The spaghetti western genre refers to westerns made by Italian directors in the 60s and 70s, and were popularized by the box office success of Sergio Leone's A Fistful of Dollars in 1964. They typically involve a search for vengeance without regard for morals and are set in the Old West. Examples in Kill Bill include the church scene in Volume 1, the use of Mexican standoffs in the fight scenes, and the bride's quest for vengeance against Bill. Japanese revenge dramas normally include a traumatic event befalling the protagonist, who then betters himself in some way to take revenge on those who have wronged them. This can be seen both in the bride's plan to kill the deadly Viper assassination squad to avenge her unborn daughter, and in Oren Ishii's murder of the mob boss who killed her parents and her subsequent rise to power in Tokyo's underground. Wuxia literally means martial hero and is the classical kung fu movie. Protagonists generally experience some setback which motivates them to undergo rigorous training, at the end of which they become a powerful warrior. Tarantino was greatly influenced in his fight scene choreography by the Shaw Brothers studio, which popularized the genre with Five Fingers of Death in 1972. This influence can be seen through the multitude of martial arts styles in the film. Anime is an art form used for comics, television, and movies, conforming to an art style developed in Japan in the late 19th century. Although only one chapter in Kill Bill is in the anime style as opposed to live action, Tarantino utilizes it to both add visual interest and to tone down the ugliness in the images of child brutality in O-Ren's backstory and rise to power. Tarantino keeps each genre distinct by dividing them into chapters. The chapter breaks can also be seen through his use of numerous color palettes throughout the movie. This is every scene in the movie chronologically condensed into one picture. In Chapter 1, the spaghetti western genre is portrayed through sepia-toned colors and bright lighting. Chapter 2 includes both Elle Driver's Pale Revenge section, the bride almost getting raped in sickly shades of green, and bright, vibrant colors for the fight scene at Vernita's house. All these elements are pieces of revenge drama. Chapter 3 is O-Ren's backstory, and it is the chapter in the anime style. It begins with dark colors, which are only disturbed by the vivid redness of blood, but ends with bright colors as O-Ren receives her revenge. Chapter 4 acts as a transition to the wuxia film by slowly introducing brighter, more vibrant colors to the more neutral palettes used earlier in the film. Chapter 5 contains the most vibrant colors in the film.
The fight scene begins with a contrast of vivid red blood and the 88's black suits before switching to black and white, a technique common in wuxia films. This is followed by the bright blue of the backlit fight, which transitions to the cooler colors of the fight between O-Ren and the bride.
Another way Tarantino incorporates multiple genres is by referencing iconic films of various genres, such as The Bride's tracksuit is a reference to the Bruce Lee wuxia film A Game of Death. The sunglasses on the sheriff's car are referencing the opening scene of the western Gone in 60 Seconds. The appearance of Elle Driver comes from the one-eyed protagonist of the Russian revenge film Thriller or Cruel Picture. Gogo's bleeding eyes as she dies are taken from the 80s classic horror movie City of the Living Dead. The backlit fighting is a direct reference to Samurai Fiction, a Japanese martial arts movie. The orange sky behind the plane is taken from the Japanese action movie Goki, Body Snatcher from Hell. And Gogo's fighting style with a flail is taken from Jackie Chan's Shanghai Noon.
Tarantino is creating an action-oriented film by focusing his shots on motion as opposed to dialogue. He accomplishes this by alternating action shots with close-ups of faces and objects, piecing the plot together by showing the viewer what is important instead of telling. As you can see in the following scene, he utilizes quick shots focused on the actions of the characters. He says this about his utilization of various genre techniques to maintain visual interest.
If there's a problem with some Hong Kong movies, the problem is the final fight scene goes on too long. You get a little bit, okay, enough of that. All right, you get a little bored with it. I thought if I could keep changing the visual palette, keep changing the rhythms, so we go from Japanese style action to Hong Kong old school Shaw Brothers style action, all right, to then there's the silhouette fight in the kabuki room. And then we move to the most presentational Japanese style of the whole movie for the final cut.
Tarantino's Kill Bill Volume 1 utilizes a multitude of different techniques such as lighting, references, and cinematography to incorporate multiple genres into one incredibly action-oriented movie.